It was supposed to be a normal Friday night, November 17th, 1978, a cold, rainy evening in Indianapolis, Indiana. Inside a small Burger Chef restaurant on South Meridian Street, 4 young employees were wrapping up their shift. They cleaned the counters, counted the register, and prepared the deposit for the night. They joked around, talked about the weekend, and looked forward to going home. None of them knew that before the sun rose the next morning, all 4 of them would be dead, executed in cold blood, and the people who did it would vanish into the night, never to be found. This is the story of the Burger Chef murders, one of the most disturbing unsolved mass killings in American history, a case that has haunted detectives, families, and an entire city for over 45 years. To understand the tragedy, we first have to understand who these young people were. They weren't just names in a police file. They were sons, daughters, friends, full of life, full of dreams. Mark Smith was 17 years old, the assistant manager. He was hardworking, responsible, and saving every dollar he earned for college. His friends remembered him as kind, funny, and always willing to help others. He was just days away from his 18th birthday. Daniel Davis was only 16, the youngest of the group, a high school sophomore, working part-time to earn some extra money. He loved sports, music, and hanging out with his friends. His family described him as energetic, optimistic, and full of dreams for the future. Ruth Ellen Schaefer was 20, the restaurant manager, mature beyond her years, trusted with the night shift, and engaged to be married. She was planning her wedding, picking out dresses, dreaming about the life she would build with the man she loved. Mary Catherine Barnes was 18, fresh out of high school, and working at Burger Chef to save money. Her friends remembered her as sweet, shy, and caring. She had just started this new job, excited about her independence and the future ahead of her. 4 young lives, 4 bright futures, all about to be cut short in the most brutal way imaginable. The night of November 17th started like any other. The restaurant closed at 11 p.m. The 4 employees began their closing duties, cleaning the grills, wiping down the counters, counting the cash. Around midnight, someone called the Indianapolis Police Department. A concerned citizen reported seeing something suspicious at the Burger Chef on South Meridian Street. Officers were dispatched to check it out. Officer James Smith arrived just after midnight. He pulled into the parking lot, stepped out of his car, and walked toward the restaurant. Through the glass window, he saw something that would haunt him for the rest of his life. Bodies on the floor, blood everywhere. He called for backup immediately. This was no longer a welfare check. This was a mass murder scene. What investigators found inside was horrific beyond words. All 4 employees had been executed, shot multiple times at close range. They had been forced to lie face down on the floor before being killed, one by one, execution style. The crime scene suggested multiple shooters, professional, cold-blooded, calculated. The register had been emptied, about $200 to $300 stolen, but nothing else was taken. No food, no personal items, no wallets, no purses. This wasn't a robbery gone wrong. This was something else entirely. This was an execution. Detectives arrived within minutes. The Indianapolis Police Department's homicide unit, then the FBI. This was now a major investigation. Hundreds of officers would be assigned. Thousands of tips would come in, but answers remained frustratingly out of reach. The investigation began immediately. Who were these kids? Did they have enemies? Was this random or targeted? Detectives interviewed family, friends, co-workers, customers. They were looking for anything unusual, any clue, any motive. Early theories focused on robbery, but the evidence didn't fit. Yes, money was taken. But why kill 4 people when 2 would suffice? Why shoot them all execution style? Why leave so much evidence behind? Nothing added up. Then came a disturbing possibility. Was this connected to organized crime? Rumors swirled about the victims being involved in drug dealing. Were they killed over a drug debt? A bad deal? Investigators followed every lead, but nothing stuck. Another theory emerged. A love triangle, jealousy, passion. But again, the evidence was thin. None of the victims had known enemies. No threatening phone calls. No history of violence. They were just kids working a Friday night shift. The FBI brought in their best profilers. They studied the crime scene photos, the ballistics, the witness statements. Their conclusion was chilling. This was likely a professional hit. Multiple shooters, military or law enforcement training, cold, calculated, efficient. Ballistics evidence showed multiple weapons were used, different caliber bullets. This suggested multiple shooters. At least 2, possibly 3. These weren't panicked amateurs. They knew what they were doing. They came prepared. They left quickly. Witnesses came forward with sightings. A suspicious car in the parking lot. Unknown men asking about the restaurant's closing time. A white van seen speeding away. But in 1978, without surveillance cameras or cell phones, these leads went nowhere. The case went cold. Months turned into years. The detectives who worked it never forgot. One investigator said it was the worst crime scene he'd ever seen. Another kept the case file on his desk for decades, hoping for a breakthrough that never came. Over the years, new suspects emerged. A man who confessed on his deathbed, but his story didn't check out. A convicted killer who was in the area, but no physical evidence linked him. A drug dealer with a grudge, but no proof. The families were devastated. Mark's parents lost their son days before his 18th birthday. Daniel's family lost their baby boy. Ruth Ruth's fiancé lost the woman he was going to marry. Mary Catherine's parents lost their daughter, just as she was starting her adult life. The grief was unbearable, and the lack of answers made it worse. The case was reopened multiple times. In 1990, new detectives took a fresh look. In 2008, DNA technology had advanced. In 2018, on the 40th anniversary, investigators promised they were still working it, but no arrests, no charges, no justice. What makes this case so disturbing? 4 young people, executed in cold blood. No clear motive, no witnesses who saw the actual crime, no murder weapon found, no DNA matches. In an age before modern forensics, the killers vanished into the night. Theories abound: drug hit, organized crime, jealousy, random violence, a botched robbery that went too far, a targeted assassination. After more than 45 years, we may never know the truth. The Burger Chef murders remain one of Indiana's greatest unsolved mysteries. The restaurant was eventually torn down. The building is gone, but the memory remains. A memorial stands for the 4 victims. Flowers are still left on anniversaries. Detectives still talk about the case. The families still wait for answers. Mark Smith would be in his 60s now. Daniel Davis would be approaching 62. Ruth Ellen Schaefer would be 66. Mary Catherine Barnes would be 64. They should be grandparents by now. They should be celebrating birthdays, graduations, weddings. Instead, they're frozen in time forever. 17, 16, 20, and 18. The Burger Chef murders changed Indianapolis forever. It showed that evil could strike anywhere, even at a fast food restaurant on a Friday night, even against innocent kids just trying to earn some money. No one was safe. What happened to the killers? Did they die of natural causes, taking their secret to the grave? Are they still alive, living normal lives, hiding in plain sight? Did they commit other crimes? We may never know. The case remains open. The Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department still lists it as active. They've promised to follow every lead, no matter how old. New DNA technology offers hope, but time is running out. Witnesses are dying. Evidence is degrading. 4 young lives taken too soon. Families forever changed. A community scarred. A mystery unsolved. The Burger Chef murders remind us that justice isn't always served. That some questions never get answered. That some stories don't have happy endings, but they deserve to be remembered. Not as victims of an unsolved crime, but as the young people they were. Full of life, full of dreams, full of potential. Mark Smith, Daniel Davis, Ruth Ellen Schaefer, Mary Catherine Barnes. November 17th, 1978. 4 lives taken, 4 stories unfinished, 4 families left waiting. And somewhere out there, the truth is still hiding, waiting to be found, waiting to be told, waiting for justice.
If this story touched you, please hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your support helps us keep these unsolved mysteries alive and brings us one step closer to the truth. Thank you for watching.